Welcome to the Behavior Code, the show that deciphers the hidden patterns of human nature. I'm your host, Maria.
And I'm Gabriel. Today we are diving into one of the most contentious social phenomena of our time, cancel culture. And we want to start with a couple of questions.
Yeah, questions that I think we've all asked ourselves. Like, why do thousands of people, sometimes hundreds of thousands, attack someone online they've never met, all at once?
And why does it happen so fast? I mean, a person can go from beloved public figure to social pariah in what? A matter of hours? A single tweet, an old video resurfaces, and boom, it's over.
It's terrifying, honestly. We've all seen it happen. Some celebrity or even just a normal person who went viral for the wrong reason says one wrong thing, and suddenly their career is in jeopardy, they're getting death threats. It's a total digital dogpile.
Exactly. And the common narrative is that this is about justice or accountability. But today, we're going to argue that it's not really about justice at all. It's about psychology. I remember that case of the food blogger a few months ago. She had a huge following, millions of subscribers. Then someone dug up a insensitive joke she made on a forum when she was a teenager. Within a day, her sponsors dropped her publisher canceled her cookbook deal, and she was getting thousands of hateful messages an hour. Her career was, for all intents and purposes, erased.
And it's not just about celebrities. It's happening to academics, to journalists, to ordinary people who make one off-color joke. The scope of it is enormous. The hidden wiring in our brains that makes us act in these very predictable and very scary ways when we get into a group. So let's start by defining our terms. Gabriel, what is cancel culture, really? And it's the speed and scale that are just breathtaking. The emotional whiplash for that person must be unimaginable. Going from a celebrated creator to a social outcast in less than 24 hours. That's not just a career change, that's a fundamental crisis of identity.
Well, if you strip away all the modern jargon, it's public shaming just at a massive, unprecedented scale. It's a form of social punishment aimed at, essentially, reputation destruction.
Reputation destruction. That's a good way to put it. It feels so modern, so tied to Twitter and social media, but you're saying it's an old behavior?
It's ancient. Think about it. For thousands of years, if you broke the rules of your village or your tribe, what happened? You were publicly shamed, put in the stocks, ostracized, maybe even exiled. Your reputation within that small community was destroyed.
That's a fascinating point. Can you give us a more concrete example from history? Something that feels like a pre-internet cancellation?
Precisely. The internet just made shaming global, instantaneous, and, critically, permanent. Your mistake isn't just known to the 100 people in your village, it's seen by millions and it's archived forever.
That's the terrifying part. There's no escaping it. And this all ties back to a core psychological principle, doesn't it? A fundamental human fear.
It does, and this is the key idea for this whole section. Humans evolved to fear social exclusion more than almost anything else. It is a primal, deep-seated terror.
And that's where we get into the real meat of the psychology here, the fear of social rejection. Because, we like to think of ourselves as these modern, enlightened individuals, but we're still running on some very old software.
Very old software. We are tribal creatures, full stop. Our ancestors survived because they were part of a group. The group provided food, protection, mates, everything.
And being excluded from that group,
It wasn't just a social inconvenience, it was a death sentence. You were alone, vulnerable to predators, starvation. So our brains evolved a powerful alarm system. The pain of social rejection literally registers in the brain in the same areas as physical pain.
wow. So when we see someone getting canceled today, that person is experiencing a modern digital version of that ancient fear of exile. It's social death.
It is social death, and that explains so much of the behavior we see. It explains why people issue these frantic public apologies even when they sometimes did nothing wrong or what they did was incredibly minor.
Right. They're not just trying to correct the record. They're trying to signal to the tribe. Please don't cast me out. I'll do anything. It's a survival instinct kicking in. They fear losing their job, their reputation, their friends, their place in the social world.
That's the core of it. Cancel culture works because it weaponizes our deepest, most primal human fear, exclusion. But it's not just about the person being canceled, it's also about the people doing the canceling.
Yes, the mob. That's a whole other psychological rabbit hole, isn't it? The psychology of the mob.
Oh, absolutely. It's a well-studied phenomenon that people behave differently when they're in a group, especially a large anonymous group like an online mob. Something called de-individuation happens.
De-individuation. Okay, break that down.
It means your individual sense of identity and responsibility just fades away. You're not Gabriel, you're just one angry voice among thousands. You feel anonymous, and that anonymity lowers your inhibition.
So you'll say things you'd never dream of saying to someone's face.
Exactly. The personal responsibility disappears. And then you add in emotional contagion. Outrage is an incredibly contagious emotion, especially online. You see a tweet, you see the thousands of angry replies and quote tweets, and you start to feel that anger too.
It spreads like a virus. And joining in, it makes you feel something, right? It's not just about the anger.
That's right. People join mobs to feel part of something. It's that tribal instinct again. You're part of a powerful group united in a common cause. It gives you a sense of belonging and purpose, even if that purpose is destructive.
So it comes back to that key idea you hear in social psychology. It's almost a cliche, but it's so true. People don't want to be right, they want to belong.
They want to belong. Joining the mob is the easiest way to signal you belong to the good group and not the bad one. Which leads us to the next psychological driver, the feeling of moral superiority and the quest for status.
Yes. The idea that pointing the finger at someone else makes you look better.
It's a very simple psychological transaction. By publicly condemning someone for a moral failing, you are, by implication, elevating your own moral standing. It's a performance.
You're signaling to your social group, look at me, I'm one of the good people. I would never do or say that.
Yes, and the entire architecture of social media is built to reward this. Outrage gets likes, it gets retweets, it gets attention. An angry, condemning post will almost always travel further and faster than a nuanced, forgiving one. The algorithm rewards the outrage.
So you get social status from it. In certain online communities, being the person who is the most outraged, who is the quickest to condemn, that actually increases your status within that group.
Absolutely. It becomes a status game. Who can perform their virtue the most effectively? And suddenly, the focus shifts away from the person who made the original mistake and onto the people doing the condemning. It's not about morality anymore, it's about social climbing.
That's such a cynical, but probably true take on it. I mean, it explains why the punishment often seems so wildly disproportionate to the crime. It's because the goal isn't proportionate justice, it's maximum status gain for the condemners.
You've hit the nail on the head. So if we put all this together, we can start to build a psychological profile of why people join the pylon. There's a whole list of reasons, and they're not mutually exclusive.
Okay, let's go through them. I think the first one is maybe the most powerful. Fear.
Fear of being canceled themselves, right. The mob is a rampaging beast. If you're not part of it, you might be its next target. So condemning someone else is a form of preemptive self-defense. It's saying, I'm with you, don't come for me.
It's like an offering to the outrage gods. Another one is what we just talked about. They want attention and they want to belong. Joining the big, trending conversation of the day gets you seen.
And to feel morally right, that sense of righteousness is a powerful drug. For a moment, your own life's ambiguities and failings disappear, and you get to be one of the good guys, standing on the right side of history.
And let's be honest, some of it is just boredom. It's entertainment. A public cancellation is a real-time drama playing out on our screens. It's a story with a hero, a villain, and a satisfying, brutal ending. It's like the Roman Colosseum for the digital age.
That's dark but true. It also serves as an outlet for free-floating anger. People are frustrated with their jobs, their lives, the state of the world, And here is a sanctioned, socially acceptable target to unload all that anger onto.
Yeah, and then you just have the simple forces of social pressure and herd mentality. You see all your friends, all the influencers you follow, all piling on, and you just go along with it.
And that's the crucial point. Most people in the mob don't do any research. They don't look for context. They don't read the article. They just read the headline. They see the outrage, they trust a herd, and they just follow the crowd.
Which brings us to the other side of the equation, the person being canceled. We talked about why they apologize, but I want to dig into the psychology of that public apology a bit more.
The Notes app apology. Yes, a genre unto itself. As we said, at its core, it's an act of social survival, a desperate attempt at reputation repair. You're trying to stop the bleeding.
It's a social ritual, isn't it? It's what you're expected to do. You transgress, you abase yourself publicly, and you hope the tribe will accept you back. But it seems like it rarely works.
It rarely works, and this is a key psychological insight. Often, the mob doesn't actually want an apology. They want humiliation.
Oof, say more on that.
The apology is just proof of victory. It's the moment the enemy waves the white flag. The mob gets to see the person grovel, and that reinforces their sense of power and righteousness. The apology isn't a tool for forgiveness, it's a trophy.
And no matter how perfectly crafted the apology is, it's never enough. They'll pick it apart. You didn't apologize for the right thing. This sounds like it was written by a PR team. You're only sorry you got caught.
There's no winning, because the goalposts are always moving, and the court of public opinion has no rules of evidence. And of course, the internet never forgets. That apology and the crime it's attached to will follow you forever, ready to be brought up again at any moment.
Which leads to the big, thorny question. After looking at all this, the mob mentality, the status games, the primal fear, is cancel culture good or bad?
I think you have to take a balanced perspective. On one hand, holding powerful people accountable is important. It's a good thing that people who abuse their power can face consequences.
Of course, accountability is vital, but the methods matter. And what we have now are digital mobs that are, frankly, very dangerous. There's no due process online. You are judge, jury, and executioner, all in the space of a single afternoon.
There's no nuance. People are complex. They can do good things and also make terrible mistakes. But in a cancellation, a person's entire identity, their whole life's work is reduced to their single worst moment.
And it creates a culture of fear. People become afraid to speak their minds, to ask questions, to make mistakes, because they know that one wrong step could lead to total social annihilation. And that's not healthy for any society. It stifles creativity, conversation, progress.
So where does that leave us? What's the final insight here? For me, it's this. Cancel culture proves that deep down, humans haven't really changed that much. Only our technology has.
That's it, exactly. We are still tribal, emotional, status-driven creatures who are deeply, deeply afraid of exclusion. The internet didn't invent these impulses. It just gave them a global megaphone and a permanence they never had before.
We're cavemen with Wi-Fi. And that leads me to our closing question for the audience, a little thought experiment.
I like this one.
If the internet, with all its social media and instant communication, had existed 100 years ago, or 200 or 500, how many of our famous historical figures, the people we revered today, would have been canceled?
Something to think about. That's all the time we have for today on the Behavior Code. Join us next time as we continue to explore the fascinating and sometimes frightening world of human psychology.